Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I am coming at you with my most ambitious TBR of the year, as it always is every year. This is my Clearursht TBR, which will take place over the next 2 months, so I will be reading these books, hopefully, or I might be swapping them out. It's a little bit free-flowing, this one, I think, because it has to be. It's 2 months. We're at the start of November. I am planning many books for me to read, and I also have a few gaps where I haven't decided what exactly I want to read, so I'm leaving it a little bit open. It's a little bit more mood ready this time, but I've got my notebook here ready with all of the prompts so that I can tell you roughly what I'm kind of planning to read. I have got a couple of books slotted in here for different, I've got a buddy read, or I've got a couple of buddy reads in here, some books that I put on my Spookopoly TBR that I never managed to get to, and that it's all about fantasy books. So let's just get straight on into it. So the first prompt is to read a book with 2 main characters, and for that I'm going to be reading The Ravens, hopefully, by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is one of the books that I put on my TBR last month but never got round to due to other things coming up, and that's completely fine. I was umming and ahhing about where to put this because there's another prompt later on that I originally had it penciled in for, but I actually didn't realise how hard it was to find a book with only 2 main characters in it. Apparently most of my books have more than 2, and that's not very helpful. So I know this is perfect for the spooky season, so I'm hoping to kind of read this one more in the November rather than the December, but personally I don't really read many Christmassy books anyways, because fantasy books don't really have a theme of month. Obviously you can get them into like spooky season, but there's not many Christmassy books because I feel like more Christmassy books are contemporary romancy things. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to this more in November, keep the spookiness going. This is about witches, I believe, and we're following 2 perspectives, which is great, and they are a sorority of witches, so very excited to get to this. We'll see. I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's going to be good. The next prompt is to get someone else to pick between 2 books, and right now I haven't got any ideas for this. I will probably reach out to one of my friends, or I might even get Jack to pick, if I'm completely honest, when I get to a point that I want to read something but I haven't decided between 2 books. I'll just pull 2 books off my shelf and either send a picture to a friend or get Jack to pick that one for me. My next prompt is to read a fantasy book, and this is leftover from one of the buddy reads that myself and Kate were meant to be doing earlier this year that I just slacked on and never got round to, and it is also quite fitting because this is The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind. So this is fantasy-esque. Our main character has got telekinetic powers. It also sounds like it's got like a thrillery mystery vibe to it. Body turns up at the site of her last job, murdered in a way that only someone like Tegan could have pulled off. She's got 24 hours to clear her name, and if she isn't able to unravel the conspiracy, then the city of Los Angeles may be ripped apart. So I'd say the fantasy-esque element of this is that she has got telekinetic powers. Maybe it's more sci-fi, but we'll read it and see, and if I feel like it doesn't exactly fit the fantasy prompt, then I don't really think I will struggle to find another fantasy book on my shelves. So penciling that in for that one. The next one is Multiple Perspectives. I've got many books that fit that prompt, haven't picked anything next. There are also a couple of free spaces in this readathon as well that you can read whatever you want. So again, I will mood read them. Maybe there'll be Spiffbo picks, Sphinx picks, something. Hopefully they will all get filled. There are also 3 prompts in this readathon that are based on strength, weakness, and a weapon that I have already pre-picked, but they get dropped every few weeks, so I don't know what those prompts are going to be. So when they get dropped, I will then be able to pick a book for those. Best way to keep up with that is to keep watching my vlogs, because that is the only way that I will probably update this. Maybe I'll update it when I do my update, which I usually do towards the start of December, as to how I did in November. Instead of doing like a wrap up and a new TBR, I do a catch up where I currently am, how many prompts I've completed, if I've completed any, and how much I'm panicking towards the end of the year. So there's that. Then we've got an aesthetically pleasing cover, and again this is another buddy read with Kate, and you might all be shocked at this because this is a romance book. A Marvellous Light by Freya Mask, I think is how you say her last name. This is a romance between two characters, funnily enough. I believe it is two male characters, and there's also a bit of mystery in this as well, so we shall see. And this has got like an acetate cover, so if you take that off, it's just... I've got the second one, I haven't bit the bullet and bought the third one. We'll see how I got on with this one first. Kate is very happy to be reading this because it means she's making me read more romance, which seems to be her goal at the minute. I've already read one this year, which was The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and I wasn't mad at it, so, you know, there's that. The next prompt is to read a book with either high stress, high stakes, or low stress, low stakes. And for this, I've gone high stress because I'm all about the stress. That is The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hugo by Stuart Turton. I loved The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton, and I believe this was sent to me. Yeah, this was a gift from the lovely Abby over at Abbey of Pelennor. And this is following Evelyn, who has been murdered hundreds of times, and each day Aidan Bishop is too late to save her. The only way to break this cycle is to identify Evelyn's killer, but every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes in the body of a different guest, and someone is desperate to stop him escaping Blackheath. So it's a very high stakes. There's got to be a point where he stops, you know, being able to regen into someone else. So high stakes, loving that. We're gonna go with that. The next book is to read a book with a character with high ambition or lots of ambition, and I have chosen that it's all about fantasy book pick. The Twitter is always linked down below. This live stream will be on the lovely Lisa's channel, and this is A Studying Drowning by Ava Reed. I think it's got high ambition, obviously because I haven't read it, I'm not too sure, but I think because of the way that this synopsis is, where we've got two characters, Effie and who's the other gent? There is a gent in this, Preston, and I'm gonna say Preston is our ambitious character because Preston is eager to prove that the author that Effie admires is a fraud. So we're gonna say that he's got lots of ambition to make that possible, and that's how that fits into that prompt. Next we've got a heavy or long book, and this is a pencil, and I'm not sure. I was originally going to do Ryan Carhill's newest book, which is Of War and Ruin. It's all the way up here, you cannot see it, but I am currently not in a position. I want to go back and reread all of the books, and I feel like I want to do that ready for the next book to come out, so that'll be a start of the year thing. So I will probably be rereading all of his books then, and then experiencing Of War and Ruin and The Ice fresh before the new book of Empires and Dust releases. So I'm just waiting for a release date so I can kind of pencil that in. So instead, a book that is heavy or long that I've picked is this one, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This is 800-ish pages. I don't know where esque came from. So this is the prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I did enjoy. I've read twice, so maybe I can read this once. I have seen Abby from Abbey of Pelennor talk about this book, and she really enjoyed it, and I've seen that a lot of people actually enjoyed this more than Priory, so I'm excited to see how I feel about this. Don't really know a lot about it, if I'm completely honest, but I know the covers are beautiful, and I know it got like about 50 different special editions, because Every Man and the Dog did special editions of this series when this got announced. So we just got the normal Waterstones one because it was cheap and cheerful in contrast to everything else. The next prompt is a brown, grey or earthly colour. So I've got a few for this possibly. I've got Which is Steeped in Gold. I've got my newest Illumicrate book, which the name currently escapes me. Songs of Wraith and Ruin, all very green colours on their covers. So we'll see what comes out. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. I probably have other green covers as well. In the Lives of Puppets, which again you can't see because it's just off screen, is also green. So there's a few choices. I will probably choose that closer to the time, and by closer to the time I mean when I eventually get to that prompt. Because the good thing about these prompts being released as they are in one bulk means that I can pick and choose as I go. But I think what I might do to make this fun and exciting in the similar vein as the way I did Spookopoly, which was mood reading, I might put all of the prompts onto a wheel on my spinny wheel app and just put them all on and then spin the wheel, and then if the prompt comes up and the book that I have picked, that I've put in this video, doesn't appeal to me, then I will pick something else, but I will still read something to fill that prompt, and that kind of gives me the kind of mood-esque reader thing, which kind of really boosted my reading mood when I was doing Spookopoly, so hopefully I can do that again for the next 2 months, so that'll be fun. The next is a side quest, which is to read a Rachel Aaron book, and I've picked Nice Dragons Finish Last. Couldn't tell you anything about this book. I don't know. I've never read it, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, so that is nice and fun. So we're gonna run with that and see how that goes. The next one is to read a book with a child in it. Again, I'm sure I can find something, because Clearursht is so versatile and you can make prompts work however you want. I might end up doing something like Malice, which has kids in it, but I think they grew up throughout the book. I could reread Assassin's Apprentice. It starts out with a kid and he grows up. So we could do something like that, or I don't know. But I need to find a book. I haven't actually got a book for that one, nor do I have a book for the next one, which is a book with animals in it, which I originally penciled in as The Ravens, but The Ravens is now, you know, on my double perspective list. So we're gonna just leave that there and we'll find a book with an animal in it. I'm sure I will be able to find something in this library of fantasy books where dragons run rampant, if I'm completely honest. Then we've got a book that'll teach you something, and I'm going to be reading Green New Worlds, which is the newest book by Ricardo Victoria. It's not out yet, so it will be an ARC review, but he is approaching looking at science but tying it in with fantastical elements, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it might teach me something, and I like that he has tied in fantastical elements in which to pull you in. That seems like the gist of it, so I'm excited to do that. It's also a short read, so hopefully it wouldn't take me too long. Next we've got a red cover. I'm going with a Spiffbo 9 book, which is Daughter of the Beast. This is one of our finalists that I need to read, so I'll be reading this. Very excited. I also have another one that I need to read, but I don't think I've currently included it in this TBR because I don't know where it'll fit, so I'm going to read it and then see if it fits. Because as I'm filming this, we are in November, but I haven't actually started this. So yeah, red cover, Daughter of the Beast, Spiffbo 9 finalist. Then we have got a book that was a hot topic at any point, so that's obviously a book that's been like majorly hyped. And for me, I mean, I've got so many of these books on my shelves, many of which I probably need to get to, but I've picked The Luminaries by Susan Dennard because my copy of the Hunting Moon, the sequel to this, has actually just shipped from Illumicrate, so I'm going to read this month so I can actually read the sequel and be like, I've actually read the book. Obviously not before it arrives probably, but I've read the book. This was hot topic because Susan Dennard is the author. Did she write the Truth Witch series? I feel like that, yes, she did. And this was hyped in a lot of places. I saw a lot of arcs for this floating around, and then obviously this was printed by Daphne Press, which is Illumicrate, and they did this Illumicrate exclusive as well. Was it? I'm not sure. Anyways, this is my pick for that one. Then we have got a mum character, and for that, the only one that I could really think of was this one, which is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, who, you know, I really adore because City of Brass. But this, I believe our main character is actually like, is she a grandmother? I can't remember. Yeah, actually, to retire peacefully with her family to a life of piety, motherhood, and absolutely nothing that hints of the supernatural. So yeah, this was the only book. Can we just look at the foiling on that? That's so pretty. This was the only book that I could currently think of with a mum in it. And actually, as I'm sitting here right now, another one that I can think of is The Hunger of the Gods. Shadow of the Gods is the first one, because I'm pretty sure, by John Gwynne, because I'm pretty sure that's got a mother in it as well, but this was the first one I thought of, so I thought I'd add it to the TBR, and maybe we'll finally get to this lovely shiny book. There's a couple of very shiny books on this TBR. Then we have got a book with fish or ocean themes, and I'm picking up Sea of Souls. I'm pretty sure I've already started this, but this is the only one that I'm gonna like tweak the rules for, that I've already started, but I've only read like 26 pages of, because another another ocean book that I own, I don't feel like reading currently, so we're just going to read this. And if I do read this, then one, I can review it, which is good because it's a review copy, and I'm late, shock, but need to review it. Two, it means that I get a currently reading book off my list, and I feel like that's better for me as well. And three, I just want to read it. It says C in the title, so we're going with this one. That's how it's going to go. Then we've got a book with a mystery in it, and I'm going to be reading Murder at Spindle Manor, which is again another Spiffbo 9 book, which I'm excited for. There's a murder in it. Other than that, not too sure what's happening. And then the final 3 prompts. So the first one is a book with a blue cover. I'm going to be reading The Hunters Lament by Steve Pannett. I was very kindly sent a copy of this book to read and review. This comes out this month. As I'm filming this, I'm not too sure when that is. I will put it here for you when this is coming out. This is indie published, and we are following a bounty hunter, Bittersweet. And Sweet accepts the contract and sets out in search of the fugitive crown prince, but his crew are not alone in the hunt. Danger rides with them every step of the way. Rival gangs, Vol soldiers, deadly trackers, and dark magicers are all pursuing the heir of Prussia too. Soon Sweet and his crew have a choice to make: hunt or be hunted. So I'm very excited for that. Then we've got an emotionally driven book. I've missed one somewhere, but we'll come back to that. Then we've got an emotionally intense or character-driven book. I've picked The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet because this was put on my Spookoply TBR and I never got to it, and I need to read it. This was gifted to me by Library of a Viking. Thank you very much, Johan, for this. I believe it's going to be very emotionally or character-driven. I mean, the end thing says, but Rosemary isn't the only person on board with secrets to hide, and the crew will soon discover that space may be vast, but spaceships are very small indeed. They're all going to fall out, I think. So we're going to try that. And I have missed one. I have missed Read a Small Book. And I don't know where I've missed that, but I have missed it. Somewhere I've missed this. It's not in my notebook, but I'm going to be picking a small book to read, and for that I have picked my physical copy of Ruins of Smoke. This is a Sphinx, also called, entry, but I was sent a copy. I agreed to review a copy of this before I knew it was in Sphinx, so that's why I've got a physical copy. And it's literally this big, and the writing's very small, and I'm very excited to read it. So yeah, there's that. So that is all of my TBR, roughly-ish, for Clearursht this year. I'm very excited to read a lot. I've tried to wedge in as many review books as possible, and amongst all of this I would also love to finish some of the books that I'm currently reading, that I've been reading for the longest time, because I currently suck with that. But otherwise, if you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, it supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below, let me know if you're taking part in Clearursht or not. If you're not, why not? You should. No, you shouldn't. If you don't want to, it's fair enough. But I will leave the link to the Twitter down below for you to check out if you're interested, if you want to make a TBR, whatever. It's good fun. The creator, Andy, I believe her name is, or otherwise known as Mouse, does a very good job with their co-host, creating the characters and just making it really fun. So if you want to, the Twitter will be down below, check it out. If you want to leave me just an emoji, leave me any pink or black emojis, because that is usually the colour of Clearursht. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ringing that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I am rather sporadic at the minute, at best, but it's all about the fun for me. So that's how we're running with this, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, check me out, subscribe. All my socials are always linked down below if you want to check me out on any of those. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.